Hi friends, thanks for joining today. We're going to be talking about growing our business, overcoming obstacles, mainly competitors in our industry. So if you're up against Amazon, we're going to use them as the main example, but there could be some other competitor in your niche, or maybe you just want to bring your business to the next level. So we're going to be talking about ways to work with your business strengths, and we got 6 areas to look at. Hi, my name is Donovan. If we haven't met before, I'm a supply chain professional specializing in e-commerce. I've spent the last 10 years working with large customers like Apple doing their demand planning and forecasting. And during the last few years, I actually spent my time running an e-commerce fulfillment center. We shipped over 10,000 orders a month. So let's go ahead and get into our lesson for today. Here at My House to Warehouse, we want to go ahead and grow e-commerce entrepreneurs like yourselves, give them the capability and confidence to run their own warehouse, or transition to a third-party warehouse and successfully manage them. So let's grow your business. Today's episode is going to be a part of the My House to Warehouse Training Academy. So if you want to take a look at that, you can join that group in the link below. We have discussions ongoing, and every week we have training just like this one going from Singapore on Thursdays at 10 a.m. and you can watch that live on the East Coast and West Coast US in the evenings on Wednesdays. So it'd be nice to have you join us there. Today's agenda, we're going to be talking about some of Amazon's strengths, what they're good at, and kind of where we should focus our investment. I recently went to a SME conference. We'll go ahead and take a look at some of the advice that they have and roll that into where we have flaws with Amazon's strategy and where you can actually take advantage of your own business strength. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at that, find your competitive advantage. So hang on. Taking a look at Amazon. So this should be pretty familiar with a lot of people. It's very popular in the news. The revenues for Amazon here for the last 15 years have been growing steadily, topping the record books here the last couple of years, but their net income is actually very low. Right, so what they're doing is they're investing all of their profits back into the business. So they're very good at investment in technology, investment in new ways of doing things, investing in new businesses. So what can we do as entrepreneurs, as small business owners? So I asked this question actually to this conference recently. So we had a very smart person here, Selena Ling. She's the head economist for OCBC Bank. And we had an opportunity to ask her and another panel of a few other local entrepreneurs, and actually a minister. We'll be listening to him a bit later. A few questions. So you can see the board here on the side of the screen below me with all the questions that the audience was asking. And it actually had an upvote kind of ability. So 2 of my questions got upvoted, and one of them was asked. So let's go ahead and jump to the video, and then we'll go ahead and use that response to transition into our discussion for today. So go ahead and hang on just 1 minute, and we'll be right back.
In your experience, how would you prioritize efforts to invest in the areas of manpower, machine and robotics, or software digitalization?
Okay, the way I see it is, I think all companies at the start, you need to basically know what is your business strategy. Anna and Fabian talk a lot about getting your business strategy right, whether it's in the home market, before you decide what you want to do next, which is the expansion, whether it's overseas, whatever. At the end of the day, human resources are really your internal customers. They are your drivers of your business growth, right? You can have the vision as the tauke, but if you don't have the army behind you doing, executing, implementing, you're going to have a problem. Right?
All right, so what I want to focus on of what she was saying is 2 things. Her main thing was business strategy. You should have a strategy for your business, which we'll get to that in a moment. Another thing she emphasized was the people that are your employees. And I think this is the first area that we can really take advantage of where Amazon is at, because they have a fatal flaw here. Their people management, the way they're taking care of their people, is quite poor. So recent headlines just from last year is they're really getting in trouble with labor unions. Working conditions are very poor. Workers are feeling that they can't take breaks without losing their job due to having efficiency credits being reduced and not being able to take leave when injured, these type of things. So they're not really taking very good people care. There's a few other areas, and historically, that Amazon has gotten in trouble for. They've actually removed books from Kindles. They are avoiding their taxes. This is mainly because they have very low net income because they're investing so much, but they're really taking really good advantage of their infrastructure that they're using, security, homeland security, these type of things. So there should be some taxes there, but it really makes them to look like just a greedy corporation, right? Also, they're unlisting their competitors' products. Apple TV, Chromecast were taken off. This is not necessarily illegal, but they're just looking like a bully corporation. So this is where us as entrepreneurs, as small business owners, can step in and have a bit of a market differentiation, a competitive advantage over these big corporations. So this is where we're going to transition into is know your value. So you might have seen this before, Martinez and Bidici value matrix. We're going to be focusing on two aspects of this, the tangible value and the intangible value, and the product leadership, operational excellence, and customer intimacy areas of that. So take a look at this with me together, and we're going to try and find some areas of these 6 areas where you can find competitive advantage over your larger competitors. First area we're going to take a look at is product leadership for tangible assets. So you're actually building something, you're manufacturing, but you're focusing on being a first adopter of technology, having the best, and continuously innovating to disrupt those other competitors. In operational excellence, you want to have the best price, so you can be focusing on lowering your cost, having the best way of doing things. So this is kind of granted in e-commerce. You want to make sure that you're on top of your game. In customer intimacy, now when you're actually giving something tangible, it's a good example is maybe a software integrator. You're understanding maybe the web store that you're working with and integrating that to your warehouse fulfillment software. And it takes some customer intimacy. There's a lot of customization, and a smaller market is going to be looking for this. You can even do it as far as selling products, like customizing someone's name onto that. So adding a tangible value onto the product. Now, as far as intangible in the product leadership, it's going to be brands. So if you think of your favorite brand, they're not necessarily very materially different from other competitors in their niche. So you can think about Adidas and Nike. Both are selling sporting goods, so they don't have a very diverse range compared to each other. But one is going to be your favorite. You're going to favor Nike, or you're going to favor Adidas. And recently, Nike has actually been taking over Adidas. Adidas is the older company, but Nike has that brand advantage. They're telling a better story. They're selling, better advertising or better products that are leading them to beat their competitors. So brand advantage, very important. In operational excellence, there's an opportunity there to remove hassle from your customer's experience, have something that's easy to use. Having that, you can't put a value on time. It's kind of an intangible asset there. And then for customer intimacy, if you get into the intangible area of customer intimacy, it's going to be a lot of being proactive, thinking ahead of what your customer is going to want. So think of it, I think the best example would be for a personal assistant. So they're going to be thinking about what the boss needs to do that day, making sure that they're reminded of what they need to do, really trying to help be proactive. It's kind of the definition of service for that intangible area of customer intimacy. So think about where you would fall into this matrix. What areas are you good at? Where can you improve? Where do you want your differentiation to be? Amazon really kind of falls into the operational excellence area. So they have the resources, they have the manpower to go ahead and take a look at their inefficiencies and make them better. So I don't want everyone to follow suit. They have the bigger, deeper pockets, but you want to be comparable. You don't want to be so far behind your competitors like Amazon or another big competitor in your niche to where your operational excellence is so far behind that you're just going to be losing out because your customers aren't interested. So you want to make sure your orders are shipping on time. You want to make sure that you're shipping the right product, that you're not shipping the wrong thing, and that it's arriving in good condition. So these basic things, having good fulfillment service is definitely going to be a necessity. So go ahead and contact me or someone like me to go and help you out with your operations if you need it. This is our specialty. We can definitely help you out. And once that is cleared, we can get into other areas. So it'll give you some free time to look into your product leadership. Do you want to build your brand identity? Do you want to focus on new and better products coming in? Or do you want to focus on your customer intimacy? Get more in depth in that area and have better results in your product differentiation. So we're going to go and get into that a little bit. We're going to talk about more on product leadership and customer intimacy next. In product leadership, it's a great advantage since you're a small business or an entrepreneur that you're able to be agile. These larger businesses, larger corporations, a lot of people involved, very difficult to change their operations rapidly to respond to the market. I'm not saying do completely different things, but be sensitive to the market and take advantage of where you can. Another area, feedback. So since you're maybe a smaller business, you can be closer to the market that you're serving. They may give you feedback. This is quite common, I find, in the software that I use. They have product forums that they can work with. The provider will work with the users to develop the next feature that is necessary or most desired. So it's really great to have that conversation with your customer and then adjust your product accordingly. Something that larger corporations will struggle with. And then there's concept of customer loyalty. Now, as a entrepreneur or small business owner, I encourage you to turn this on their head. So instead of having customer loyalty, have your company be loyal to the customer. So don't treat them as annoying or troublesome, but definitely take their feedback, work to please them as best you can, because your customer, once they're happy, then they're going to spread word about your small business and it will grow. Now, for today's lesson, we take a lot of examples from this text, Competitive SME. It's really a marketing book, but it has really great advice for finding your competitive advantage. So there's an affiliate link down in the description. If you want to purchase from that, I'll get a small commission. So for today, this is our main quote. Both the demands and the interests of the organization must align with those of the market. So this is the idea. Be involved in your market. Get the feedback and be agile. Adjust your company to adjust to the needs of the market. On the same level, we want to work with customer intimacy. So these two are going to work quite well together, product leadership and customer intimacy. Now, don't underestimate your first touch with the customer. It's quite important once you are able to gain a customer or even an inquiry, treat them quite well. Avoid automation and FAQ sections. So don't have, hey, just follow this link, but actually take the time to explain any questions that the customer has, have that personal touch. And on the same way, if they want to take some time to think about it, be sure to follow up appropriately, have their information available, and ask, are they still thinking about it? Have they made a decision? Keep in contact. My own experience with this was when I made a purchase on bodybuilding.com. I bought some products, and it was a really genuine follow-up response, making sure that I had received my product and that, hey, did you have any questions about workouts or anything? It seemed like a guy on the other end in customer service was a fitness enthusiast and was really genuinely wanting to help me out get results that I was looking for. So I really appreciated that. Consider doing something similar as your after sales. Make sure someone is following up to contact the customers, make sure they're doing okay. It's going to really make some good repeat customers or word of mouth to spread about your small business. Along with this, invite customers to connect. So in every communication you go out, hey, we have this forum that we'd like you to join, get feedback, or give us a call, have town halls or something to hear about the next product. YouTube is actually quite good for this. A lot of companies use that to announce new products, have live chats. And also make speaking with the customer the most important activity in the business, especially when you're a small business. Your customers are going to be your livelihood. You want to make sure that everyone understands that they need to give their full attention. Everyone is busy, but without customers, without their feedback, without their support, your company cannot survive. So make sure that that's a company culture priority for you. All right, so I just want to remember that you guys have the advantage as a small business owner, as an entrepreneur. These large corporations, they really have an easy time, getting bad press. Amazon is a target of really bad press sometimes, but you can really come off as compassionate and caring, and in the same respect, you can come off as very sincere. People want to see the little guy win against the big corporation. You can get a lot of support by communicating with your market, emphasizing that, hey, you have a different company culture, your priorities are different, your values are different than these large corporations. Now, the main reason for that may be that you're genuine. Your focus can be on your customer rather than shareholders. A lot of the stuff that Amazon and these larger corporations do, tax-wise and things like that, is because they have shareholders. They have to maximize the revenue that they get, reduce their taxes and other expenses as much as possible. So they look like mean-spirited corporations, but they're just appealing to their shareholders. Now take advantage of your positioning as an SME or an entrepreneur and really be genuine to your customers. In the same way, be innovative. We talked a bit about with our product differentiation. You want to be product focused, you want to be customer intimacy focused. Use that information, be flexible, be agile, be innovative. It's really going to be to your advantage. Okay, so hopefully I've given you some food for thought. There's a second clip that I'd just like to share with you really quick from the Senior Minister of State. He actually joined us at this SME conference, head of education and trade. So just take a listen and then we'll come back and discuss a little bit about what he was saying right after this.
3 P's. The first is passion. You set up a business, you run a business because you are passionate. You want to translate your passion into reality. And I hope your passion will inspire more young Singaporeans to be willing to take that less well-trodden path, less familiar path, and become entrepreneurs, become your own boss. Okay, so that's the first P, passion. The second P, I think, is partnership. And this is important because we can't do everything by ourselves. We don't have the resources, we don't have the knowledge, we don't have the skill, we don't have the networks. And the last P is people. And going back to what Selena mentioned, I fully agree with her. I think at the end, people must remain at the heart of everything we do. I went to visit one company and they shared with me their philosophy. They said, changes and transformation can be technology-led, but they must remain, can be technology-driven, but they must remain people-led and people-focused, people-centric.
So passion, partnership, and people. I think a really good summary of what we talked about here as well. Keep your passion for your own business. Have that drive to succeed in your operations, have the drive to reach out to your customers, and have the drive to have that product differentiation. Partnership, very important also. As a solo entrepreneur, there's no way that you can do everything. Definitely do your best. I'm here to support you on your operations, on your e-commerce. Reach out to others for marketing, any support that you need. There are resources out there. Consider joining for our operations in our My House to Warehouse Training Academy. That group is going to support you in any way we can. And also people. Don't forget about the employees that are working with you, and don't forget about your customers. I think they're the best resource that you have. Stay close to them, help them with their problems, and then they'll be sure to purchase from you in the future. All right, so we're good. Thank you guys for joining. You now have the tools to hopefully defeat that Goliath in your life, whether it's Amazon or another large competitor. You can find your competitive advantage, and don't forget that your customers are there to support you at any time. Join us at the My House to Warehouse Training Academy. Link is down in the description. Every Thursday from Singapore in the morning, we'll have this live training, and you can join us on the East and West Coast in the US on Wednesday evenings. Thank you so much, guys. I hope this is useful for you. Any questions, please leave them down in the comments or join the My House to Warehouse Training Academy. I will see you next week. Thank you. Bye-bye.